Are your kitchen and bathroom way overdue for a remodel? Well, I got the guy for you. Call John Sellers at First Response Contracting, 484-256-7136. Both residential and commercial services, and he's licensed and insured. Call him at 484-256-7136. First Response Contracting.
From real estate
Affects the market as a whole, which then sometimes will affect the tenant.
Right. It'll come in.
to real life.
We all learn in different ways. If you think about it, Wayne Dyer might not attract everybody.
And everything in between.
The mission was really to help people just to reach their full potential.
The Brad Weisman Show. And now, your host, Brad Weisman.
All right. Oh, man. We have a good show.
All
Another
right.
good show, Hugo.
I'm excited for this
Another
one.
good show. It's this is just going to be really different. I don't think we've had anybody on the show that was doing the things that this guy is doing. It's called the psychology of calm power. You know, there's times where you feel like anxiety or feel like anxious or whatever, things like that. Sometimes there's just things that happen in your life that maybe are traumatic and you're trying to maybe deal with it, or you're not able to deal with it. This guy here I've seen on Instagram where he talks people through how to cope, or how to, he calls it deleting it, I think. You just delete these types of things from your mind. He talks about stress, too. We all have stress every day.
That's right.
And he talks about that and how we can delete that out of our lives and out of our emotions. So his name is Bogdan Micov. He's joining us from Bali.
Wow,
I think they're like 4 o'clock in the morning right now, which is crazy. But Bogdan, how are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm alive and blessed. I'm so happy to be here, Brad. I'm so happy to be here. Doing really well, really well. In these late or early hours.
Yeah, you know, it's fun. I think you're one of the furthest. We did Australia, though. We had somebody all from Australia. So this is, you're far away. You're really far away. And you're up early in the morning.
I haven't even gone to sleep.
You didn't go to sleep. You look pretty good for not sleeping, I got to say.
Yeah, I try to be.
Try to be. That's funny. So let's get into this. You have what was on your information was psychology of calm power. And when it's funny when you hear those two words together, it's kind of like they're oxymorons. Like, the word calm and the word power typically are not used in the same sentence.
Yeah, it's not used because we are conditioned to label certain words with a certain meaning.
Yeah.
And many people will going to slap a meaning on the word power, like something that needs to be strong, something that needs to go through suffer, or something that needs to go all over the top. While the true power really comes from calmness, from clarity, from knowing yourself, from congruence in everything that you do in life. And power comes from there. Everything else that go hard, push through is just a force. We are forcing it. So I don't know if you have been familiar with Dr. David Hawkins. He has a great book written on it, Power versus Force.
Yeah.
And if you survive the first 3 chapters, then you're going to be addicted to the book. But it's actually that. So most of the people want to act like they're powerful. And they're just masking their own insecurities by forcing a certain image of themselves that is not truly them. So when you come to the point of why I say it like calm power, first, it's intriguing, right?
Yeah, very.
The second thing is, think about it this way. If you have a certain task or a project to finish, how are you going to perform better? When you're consistently stressed or anxious or angry or even feeling guilty about certain things, or when you're coming from a place of peace, calm, where frontal cortex work properly, intelligence work properly, and you can find a solution for anything that comes your way.
Yeah.
When are you going to perform better? Well, I will put all my money on calmness.
Absolutely. Clear mind, calmness, peace. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you 100%. When you enter any situation with force or trying to overpower or trying to do anything like that, it doesn't work out.
It doesn't work out. Think about the highest performance, let's say professional athletes in the sport of in the world of sport. What happens? Look at people that I have been, enjoying watching throughout my life. Someone like Michael Jordan, or someone like Kobe Bryant, or in UFC, GSP, for example. Those people were not operating from fear or anger, or there was no trash talk. So it was kind of, there was no excitement about what's coming. And at the same time, there is no negative emotion behind. That's why they were performing the way they were performing. Simply, they don't drain energy. They don't waste fuel giving it to those negative emotions that are running in behind. They kind of learned consciously or unconsciously in a way that it doesn't serve them a purpose.
Well, if we're somebody that normally does that, though, or normally comes into a situation with, being, let's just say, headstrong or powerful, or things are going to, how do you train, or how do you tell somebody, or how do you get to that place of calm? Is it deep breaths in and out? Is it like, what do you do to get to a calm place? I mean, things happen in life that get us excited or get us, a little worked up. I mean, somebody cuts you off in traffic, and it's really tough to come from calm in those moments, so, obviously we're always practicing this, and we're human and we're not perfect, but what are the things that you do to try and keep yourself in that calm mode?
I mean, you're completely right. There is so many different modalities and so many different ways how to actually calm your TPM, thought per minute index, or just to ground yourself a little bit. Many of them are just the coping mechanisms, right? They don't really help. I mean, you can actually do a box breathing or whatever people will going to teach you. You can do certain type of meditation. You can do, ice baths. You can do affirmations, so all of that. But that's kind of a temporary. Now we need to understand first where emotion comes, so we can actually deal with it permanently. So let's take it, let's say, reverse engineering. Results in life, no matter what type of results or which area in life. And there can be results that we like or results that we don't like. And usually we call them problems, right? Yep. Now, in my world, I don't want to even use the word problem. So I call it results that we don't like. Where results are coming from? Results are directly codependent on our sum total of behaviors, which means things that we do and things that we don't do. So if we do certain thing in a certain way, we're going to have one type of results.
I just want to back up real quick, because I want people to get what you said there before, is that we call things, a lot of times people call things, something that happens, a problem. Okay. Yeah. And I think I just want to make sure we're very clear on what you called it, is because we label it as a problem, and all it is a result. It's an outcome, right?
It's an outcome.
Okay. Now, I just want to make sure we're clear on that. Yeah.
Yeah. You like it or you don't like it.
Right.
That's your thing. Right. But if for some people, if something happens, it will be a good thing. For other people, will not going to be a good thing, right? And it's all a matter of perception. So when it comes to that point, let's say the results coming from the sum total of behaviors. Mm-hmm. And now, by all the logic, if we want to change our results in life, we need to change the behavior, right? But how easy or how difficult is that to be done? We see so many people, they want to lose weight. They pay a coach. They go and they pay the gym, and they get on a diet, and they do it for 2 weeks, and they relapse back in the same thing, right? So there is something that is driving the behavior. So what is driving the behavior? It's the state or our emotional state of mind. Fearful person presents different behavior than fearless person. Calm person presents different behavior than anxious person, etc., etc. So our emotional state drives our behavior directly. And now here is the answer to your question. Where is our emotion coming? Why someone cut us off and we get angry, or anything like you mentioned? Well, our thinking directly impacts our emotions. Or even more precisely said, the meaning-making process, the meaning that we assign on our thoughts will going to determine, are we going to have positive or a negative emotion? So thoughts in general is just a data. It's just a picture in the head or anything is it visual, kinesthetic, auditory, doesn't really matter. And they're neutral, is a raw sensory data. But we're the meaning makers, and we assign the meaning into that. I can tell you, like, simple example. If you go in Spain, in Ibiza, and you go on the beach, you will see topless all over, right? No one notices, no one judges this. No, it's completely normal. But if you do that same thing in Saudi Arabia or in Dubai, you go in jail. So who is wrong and who is right?
Interesting.
There is no wrong or right, but it's a different meaning. In one country, they will say this is normal. In another country, another environment, they will going to say this is haram, this is sin, this is not good. So the person that takes it as this is a sin to be committed and is wrong, he'll going to produce a negative emotion and start developing hate, anger, whatever, put them in jail, while the other one will be joyful and enjoy their time and don't even bother themselves with that at all. So that's the motion. Now, there is a step behind as well. What creates our meaning-making process? Meaning-making process is just a filtering process, filtering data, which is three filters: deleting, distorting, and generalizing.
What are the three again? Can you say it? What are the three again? Three filters?
Deleting, distorting, and generalizing.
And generalizing, okay.
And generalizing. Also, three different filters, internal filters that our mind takes it through, so we make a meaning out something. So that meaning-making process or that filtering, it's our conditioning or our programming that comes from the moment we were born and we started learning, which means those are only learnings. And in that meaning-making process, you have our needs, our values, our beliefs, our driving questions, and everything that comes through it. So if we really want to make a permanent change, we need to work on the conditioning. And that's the part to retweak or retune those filters towards something that serves us a purpose more. And how does it? So if you tell me, how do I stay calm in the situation, in the traffic or something else? Look, I'm not going to lie. I'm not all the time calm. I will get triggered, but then I recognize it. It's in awareness. I recognize it. And I was like, what am I focusing on right now in the moment? And then you notice that the meaning in that moment is, oh, this guy is an idiot. He's careless. He's blah, 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 blah. And you get spiraling into that emotion. While I can change the meaning on spot. I was like, well, I don't know what I don't know. Maybe the guy is driving a pregnant lady inside of the car and rushing towards the hospital. Or maybe something happened. He needs to be there for his children or her children out there. Who am I to judge? And how am I even helping myself? He just passed it. He's already out in the wind. If I keep on being angry, how does that serve me? I just destroyed my day.
Yeah. No, it's true. And we do that. You know, something happens like that, and it does. And for many people, it could ruin for the next 2-3 hours or a whole day. Just because they keep rehashing that same thing that happened over and over. And it's not just in traffic, it's with anything in life. You know, there's certain things that happen every day to us, you know, and it's just all about how we reframe it, what the result, like you said before, I love the whole thing is it's a result. We put the result as a problem, or we put the result was the guy cut you off. That's really all it was. It wasn't him trying to be a jerk to you. It wasn't he was in a hurry and whatever. So it's interesting way of looking at things.
You just took it personally. You kind of identify yourself with that circumstance or with that situation. And because it goes against your belief system that this is wrong, straight away that initiates a certain negative emotion. In this moment, it will be rage, anger, frustration, call it however you want. It's all anger at the end of the day when it comes to that. And simple by understanding that, you'll make your life even better just by understanding that you don't experience your reality directly. In fact, we aren't capable to experience the reality directly, the circumstances directly. We're only capable to experience our own thinking about that circumstance, about the reality. So we are constantly living in the feeling of our own thinking. And when you get that and really get it, then you will understand that the whole world around you that you understand as a world is just made of thought. And knowing that that's come from the conditioning and it's just a learning, good news is what is learned can be unlearned and can be replaced with different learnings that serve you a better purpose at this point of time.
Yeah, it's cool. Very cool. So let's learn a little bit more about you. So you said you were in Dubai for 16 years, whatever, and now you're in Bali. Like, what did you always do this work? I mean, is this what you've always done? Because this is what I wrote down from some of the stuff you have. It said you're a go-to transformation expert for elite entrepreneurs, sales professionals, and leaders who want one thing: permanent emotional freedom fast. It says here, after surviving a stroke at 33, walking away from 50 million plus in high ticket sales, you rebuilt your life around the core truth. You don't need more mindset work. You need deletion. I've never heard of it put that way, or I've never heard of, it's almost like you feel like we stack too much of these things on our mindset, and we need to actually start maybe taking away to give room for thought and peace and calm. Hey guys, I want to take a second and thank Comfort Pro. Since 2001, Comfort Pro has been helping customers stay comfortable where they live, work, and play. They have 24/7 emergency service and a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. If you need help with your heating and air conditioning or indoor air quality, call Comfort Pro at 484-917-1803. Mention the show and receive a free humidifier with the installation of a complete system.
Well, really what I mean by that is this. You don't need to find yourself. You just need to delete what you're not.
That's interesting.
Because you're not your anger. You're not your guilt. You're not your hurt. You're not your fears. You're nothing of that, because when you were born as a baby, the only thing that you knew is to laugh and to sleep and be restful, peaceful, and grow and learn, right? You didn't know anything about career. You didn't know anything about business. You didn't know anything about podcasts. Nothing of that was there. You only knew how to enjoy moment. And then the world took its hands on you and start conditioning you by your parents, grandparents, environment, religion, school, church, mosque, whatever it was there around, and you start building all those type of things, right, as learning. And you start even identifying yourself with that, because someone will tell, oh, well, this is who am I? And I was like, oh no, you can fuck off. This is who you learned to be.
Right.
This is who you learn to be. I always say, you just need to remove the mud and the diamond is there. So when I think about that mud and deletion, I'm thinking about those beliefs that many people will call them limiting beliefs, right? In fact, all the beliefs are limiting in a certain point because they set a limit, right? But let's say belief that doesn't serve us a purpose, all those stored negative emotions that are stored in our memories, in our nervous system, that are not serving us a purpose, because it's not natural for us to be anxious all day long. It isn't natural, because that fear, let's say, it's just a protective mechanism since we were primals, because we need to run away from a lion. And the moment when the lion is gone, the fear was not. But as more the frontal lobe started developing and we started evolving as human beings, we started holding on to those fears, or let's say the anger or sadness about something for a long time, because it's kind of addictive. It runs cortisol, it runs adrenaline through your whole system when that happens, and you start identifying yourself with that part. Now, many people are trying to become the best version of themselves. Mm-hmm. How about you unbecome who you weren't to begin with, or just to remember?
Wait, say that again. How you unbecome the person that you weren't?
Who you weren't to begin with, because you were not that person when you got born. You were a clean slate, or on Latin language, tabula rasa, which means empty board, empty table, when you started drawing your model of the world based on many beliefs or thoughts that you were not even conscious enough in that moment to validate its truth. Wow. So we just accepted it. And that's not us. It will serve us a purpose to a certain point until it doesn't. So you ask me, like, how did I come to this point?
Yeah.
Is because I reached a point where I had to actually deal with difficult problems, health problems especially. A little bit of background. I've been in Dubai, right? Before when I started, I was acting CEO and director of operations for one of the biggest hospitality companies in Dubai, running like 8 nightclubs, 4 fine dining restaurants, like super luxury, and 10, let's say, pubs, English and Irish pubs that were there in the company. I was having more than 700 employees under my thing. And I was a person, I need to push hard. I need to go hard. There is no pain, no gain, no this, until I wake up in a hospital after a stroke. And I was like, something has to change. Something really has to do that. And that was the first indicator that I was like, oh, I mean, if I continue being that, because you're working 18 hours a day, you're consistently under stress, you're consistently all of that. I was like, doesn't work this way. And it was the first moment when I was like, I need to do something about this. And started researching. Then I had my first training about NLP. That's my first time I started learning about NLP. Then I got a master in NLP. Then I'm master NLP trainer. And then I was like, this is not enough. I was like, let me get something else. Like, because this works, but not for everything. And I was like, okay, hypnosis. Then get to hypnosis level 1, 2, 3 until master level of hypnosis. Wow. And then it was a snowball effect. One modality after another, one modality after another. And I don't care where it comes from, who invented it and how it is. All I care is, does it work? I finished in Tibet, 2 months being in the mountain, in the monasteries, just to learn one tool, one technique, how they are dealing with these things. I finished in Hawaii learning about breath and the point of breath. And they're all, Hawaiians are probably the most advanced nation when it comes to breath and breath work. Even the word,
that's crazy.
The word ha in Hawaii comes from breath, and why means the way of breath.
Amazing. So you're well schooled. You've studied all this stuff, and so you go from running clubs and restaurants and all this stuff, okay, which is high intense, like stressful, like really in it. So you go from that, I guess a stroke is what I had read. And then now you're well trained in hypnosis and all these different things. It's incredible.
I mean, hypnosis is just one of the maybe 40 different modalities that I have been mastering. I became obsessed with it. And by, let's say, how I'm raised is I don't move on to another one until I master what is as a task in hand. And I get good in that. And I was like, cool. How can I upgrade this knowledge right now? Yeah. And then I add another one and then another one. And that's how the Be Relentless method, my own method, has been developed and came to birth because I started fusing all of those methods in a certain situations with around certain problems with the clients or anything else, so people can have immediate, fast results.
Yeah.
I got sick of seeing people going to therapy for 25 years, for 30 years about a certain problem that we can solve it in 3 minutes. Like, I really got sick of seeing this. I've noticed that there were some tools out there that they were forgotten or forgotten on purpose.
Yeah.
Because they really work and they really help other people. Now, I wouldn't be able to reach that if I was not digging and I was not curious about learning more. But then it put me in a situation I was like, I need to put myself out there and help the world.
Yeah.
Because absolutely no one deserves to live in misery, to live in agony, just because they don't know that something there is possible.
Yeah.
No one has to be treated like a monthly recurring revenue just to go and talk over their things out there and just to show up the next week again and pay another 100, 200, 500,000 bucks for one That's Up session just to cry. Crying and talking about a certain problem is just reinforcing the problem in the mind. Does not help. Yeah, it's venting. It feels relaxation a little bit at this moment, but it doesn't delete it. It does not solve it. Yeah. It's just reinforcing it and becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. Hence why those mainstream methods are outdated now.
Yeah, it's amazing. So can we talk more about the Be Relentless method, which is a method that you came out with? I did see that in here. Tell me a little bit about what is that about, that method?
So as I said, the Be Relentless method is my own proprietary method that I use many different modalities into it and created a fusion and I created a system out of it. So if we're talking about, everyone knows about NLP and their grandmother knows about NLP, that's fine. Everyone knows, and it's very fancy to talk about hypnosis. Hypnosis is involved as well to a certain point if needed, and mainly hypnotic language when it needs to bypass the critical faculty of the conscious mind and to talk a little bit with the unconscious mind, which is 95% of everything that we do. And then there was a lot of other tools like time paradigm techniques, polarities integration, parts integration, and inner conflict resolution, cognitive behavioral sciences, and I mean, I can talk until tomorrow. There's so many out of that. So I've been in the last, let's say, 9 years going through all of that to come to a certain method that I will be happy with to show myself up there, right? And finally I got it. Like in the last, I've been working with people since 2018 actively. Is 2018 actively. I started 2016, and from 2018, I've been just upgrading the whole thing. And in the last, let's say, 3 years, I worked with more than 1,000 of high-performing individuals, CEOs, entrepreneurs, celebrities, athlete celebrities, most of them under NDA, high-level individuals, especially in the Middle East, like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, or anything else. So they can understand that you don't need to suffer to make it. You still need to put the work, though. But it's better to put the work while you're enjoying it rather than resenting it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I put all those things together, and then it happened to notice that if there is one situation and there is one negative emotion about that situation, for example, I feel angry about my brother and you're raging, it's literally 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You will never going to feel that anymore. That's why I call it deletion. So the world needs deleting, not coping. I call it like this. Most of the people now out there, if you're sick, right, you have symptoms, some of them, they will give you vitamins, to get better. Yeah. Some people, they know better, they will going to give you a painkiller, which are the coping mechanisms and everything like that. I see myself in my metaphorical way of explanation. I'm the surgeon. I want to come to the root cause of the problem, take it out of your system, so you don't need those coping mechanisms anymore, and you can free yourself fully.
Well, that's a good way of looking at it. That's a good analogy. Very good. It makes it very, very easy to understand. Very easy to understand. Let's before we wrap this up, there's a couple other things I wanted to dive into here. One is, and this is really what kind of what we just talked about. On an Instagram post I saw you had, it said, while others motivate, I rewire, which kind of is like that. While others teach, I delete what's blocking you, which is kind of what the analogy. And while others preach, you witness freedom happen live, which, right there in front of you. And then the other thing I saw was stress isn't real. It's not in your job. It's not in your partner. And it's not in the pressure. So let's talk about, everybody deals with stress. I mean, everybody thinks they deal with stress. Let's just touch on that a little bit before we wrap this up, because to me, that's like a big one that the audience will probably want to know, how do we, everybody wants to know, how do we deal with stress? I'm stressed. My job is stressful. This is stressful. How do I deal with this? What is your system for that?
So here's the thing. You see how we even say it. I am stressed.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, that presupposes that you have stress, right?
Yeah.
Which means you're externalizing responsibility that stress is a thing and just came into you. In the world of nominalization and language, we take it stress as a noun, while the reality is stress is a verb. I am stressing.
Mm-hmm.
I am stressing about. First is taking responsibility that we are the one, and our thinking is creating that stress. Our meaning making of that circumstance or situation is creating that stress.
So we internalize it. We internalize it in a way, right?
No, we create it.
We create it.
Internalize it. We create it.
Wow.
So many people will take it like this. What is happening? Why is this happening? And what if this continues happening? I have a different approach. How do we create our what? How do we create our why? And how do we create our what if? And that's a process. That's a strategy. Interrupt the process, interrupt the pattern, interrupt the strategy. Long enough, the emotion disappears. You just blocked a certain strategy that you have been using unconsciously in your mind to create that type of stress. So stress is our doing. I cannot piss you off, Brad. I cannot. I can do something that can trigger a certain opinion about me that you have in your head about me. And that opinion is a meaning making. And then you will decide if you want to get mad at me, angry at me, swear at me, or you're just going to laugh. But I cannot do anything to you because emotion, like I said, is our own doing. What is emotion? It's just a chemical reaction in our body. Bunch of chemicals coming from our hypothalamus through our system. If it's a good meaning making process, it will be all those beautiful enzymes, hormones, proteins, whatever runs to your system, and it's going to be dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and all of that part. But if it's bad meaning making on our thinking, it's going to be okay. Cool. It's adrenaline. It's a cortisol, and all those stressful hormones that are, or chemicals that are running through our body. So first, to get rid of stress, you need to understand where the stress comes from. Mm-hmm. And it's not from outside of us. It's from inside. It's our own doing. It's our own freaking doing. Mm-hmm. And that's called taking responsibility.
Yeah.
Taking responsibility. You can control what you think. And you can always, I can ask you a few questions and you suddenly going to change the meaning of what you meant it was. Only that will going to do half of the job. Then later on is releasing the emotion and you're done. Off you go.
That's cool. Very cool. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
It's deep.
It is deep. It's very deep. It's deep. That's Hugo over there. Yeah. So I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything that you wanted to leave the audience with that something that you feel is good for everybody to hear, everybody to know, or to experience of your teachings and of what you coach on?
Well, there is many things. I will try to make it shorter here, but I would say always, you remember when I said unbecome who you weren't to begin with?
Yes.
Or just add one part of it is like, you don't need to become someone else or something else. You just need to remember who you were before you forgot.
Interesting.
Just remember who you were before you forgot. And that way, you are going to be able to actually make a choice. What do you want to think? What do you want to feel? Therefore, behave in the appropriate way, and you can change the results. Be careful in your language, because language have a meaning as well. The word hard itself have a meaning that is a suffer. You will never going to hear me say this is hard. I will say it's not easy. Kind of feels better.
Yeah, right. It's all in the language. I mean, because language is everything. That's how we describe things. How we create. That's how we create the emotions. I guess somehow.
Well, the language, it's how we identify the world, how we find the world, and we use that. Now, we can never always shift it.
Yeah.
And I will encourage everyone, you can do it.
Now, how do we find you? How do they find you?
You can find me on, the best way is Instagram. It's Micov Bogdan, Micov Bogdan, and probably Facebook. So
Awesome.
It's the same handle. And I just wanted to recognize you for what you're doing, Brad. I watched some of your episodes before, and it was really honor for me to be here. I know how much of a not easy work it is for you to actually run the show and bring so much value to all of your audience, even though there is a lot of diversity there. So I will encourage everyone that is watching or listening, just go and subscribe, go and share, please go and show some love.
That's
because
awesome.
This isn't easy to be done, and it will bring more value to many people.
We appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming on the show. We'll have you back again sometime. All right. Thank you. There you have it. Bogdan Micov, Psychology of Calm Power. I mean, seriously, if you're not looking him up, you should be. This is just such great information. If you're dealing with stress, if you have anxiety, if you have anything that you've been dealing with for a long time, you want to look him up. He's got great stuff on Instagram that's going to help you out. I can guarantee it. All right. That's it. Thanks so much for watching us every Thursday, 7 p.m. All right. See you later. Hey guys, if you're looking to buy or sell a house in Berks County or beyond, let me know. This is Brad Weisman from The Brad Weisman Show. You probably know I'm also a realtor, but I wanted to remind you, if you have any questions or you need anything, please give me a call, 484-256-5836. Thanks.